Yeah, nah, everything looks good. Yeah, there's a lot of little bugs and critters. I know you can hear them all out there. They're definitely coming out, and I'm gonna keep my eyes on that spider because let me tell you, that thing is freaking scary. Okay, life is a video game. You know, they say art often imitates life. Rather, life and art can sometimes exist in a some weird natural correlation. A lot of people nowadays, they struggle to understand how reality works. Look, in the brief moment, you might be able to see it. This, look, look at that. That might be one of those, I forget what kind of bird, an osprey or a duck. No, that's definitely a duck. But you see, look, that's why you got to get outside. That's why getting outside is important. You wouldn't be able to see something like that if you were inside your car or inside your house all day. Go outside. But a lot of people fail to realize how reality works. And the best way to describe reality to someone that doesn't really understand how to properly progress in life would be using video games as an analogy. Video games is a really good analogy to use when trying to explain how the aspect of life works, okay? In a video game, the idea is to improve your skills, to get better, to get to the next level, and to ultimately beat the game. And that's kind of how life is, right? Life, you get better at life, you learn new things, you meet new people, and eventually you beat the game of life and you get to be surrounded by a bunch of your loved ones before you die in your little hospital bed, right? That's kind of the goal that we're all shooting for realistically at the end of the day here. The end goal is ultimately the same, is to beat the game and have the maxed out skills, maxed out perk tree, all that stuff. You just want to max out your full potential. That way, by the time you get to the end of the game, you don't want to play through it anymore. You already did everything that there is that you could do, so you're already satisfied with your ending. That's the idea that you want to have for life. You want to set up goals and dreams that you have. That way you can achieve them and chase them to give yourself some sort of quest, if you will. That's a really good way to describe it, keeping in video game sense, to give yourself quests. And you could have little side quests, you could have main quests. For example, my main quest is to make sure that I set myself up and my family for success, right? And as well as all of you that watch this channel. My little side quests I would consider would going to work, going to the gym, eating healthy, maintaining my diet, reading books. Those are like little side quests that I dabble in every now and then to kind of gather some experience points up or to entertain myself, or rather just to keep the story progressing. Because you need side quests to go along the main quest line to keep the story flow going. You know, you don't want to be under leveled by the time you get to your main quest area, because then that lack of experience is just going to mess you up in the long run. I'm trying to use video game terminology here to keep it simple for people that kind of think the way how I kind of think, because usually gamers, realistically, if they applied the knowledge that they had from video games to real life, like the strategizing, the role playing, or whatever, however you want to consider it, but realistically the strategizing and the focus that we used to give to video games, if we can apply that same focus and that same strategizing methods to real life, we'd be the most successful people out there, because real life is literally built and structured like a video game. But like I said, art imitates life. That's why they seem so close. The correlation is just uncanny. You're born into the world, you work your way up through school, you go through elementary school, middle school, high school, and that's when you got to start kind of figuring out what you're going to do with the main portion of your life, because that's kind of like the prologue, right? It's going through school and all that stuff, because those events kind of build and determine who your main character as an adult is going to be. Because if you had a traumatic childhood, chances are you're going to have a lot of traumas and a lot of bad habits when you're an adult. If your parents further motivated you to pursue your interests, like going to school, performing in sports, picking up an instrument, chances are you're going to have a lot more skills by the time you're older, and you might have a lot more good habits compared to somebody that had a really bad traumatic childhood experience, right? So you work your way up, you get to high school, and then now it's kind of like you got to figure out what it is you want to do. Do you want to go to school, to get into a whole bunch of debt and hope you can find the job that you're looking for? Or do you want to go straight to the coal mines, work for God knows how long, until you're like, what, 65, 70, I think now is the retirement age for people my age, and then hope that you can retire if the money is worth anything? Or you can, you know, bite the bullet and take your chances being an entrepreneur and figure something out, and you either end up dead broke with a messed up credit score, or you get lucky and you figure it out. So you have a lot of options to choose from. And let me just tell you this, if you think that you could just get through life off what you learned in high school and you have no drive to try to learn something outside of school, you're screwed. You're setting yourself up for failure, and that's like a really, really, really big handicap. And life already throws you so many handicaps. You don't want to add any more handicaps to your life already. Your best bet to actually achieve the highest point in life in this video game is to educate yourself in all different aspects, in all different areas of how the real world actually works. You could add on into a little bit of what you learned in school, but realistically, you want to touch up on the things school doesn't teach you. You got to get your financial skills up. You got to get your health skills up. I'm talking actually studying into different exercises, getting a proper diet plan, not just listening and going by all those things you learned in high school, but using that as like some sort of foundation to build upon new knowledge that is actually going to help you in the real world. Just going off of high school level education your whole life is literally like shooting yourself in the foot. You're setting yourself up for failure. And do you really, really want to do that? Honestly, like, look, don't you want to have land that has a big lake or whatever this river or whatever this thing is? Wouldn't you want something like this? Just say you have it, you got little koi fishes in the water and stuff that you feed. Think about it. The world is your oyster. It's so beautiful out here. As you start to work on yourself, you're going to the gym more, you're eating healthier, you got a good job, you're investing into your skills, reading more books, life starts to get a lot more enjoyable. If you're living life without doing these things, that's why it feels so depressing. It's because you don't have any sort of character progression going on. You're missing all your important character development. Maybe you didn't get into that job, so you gave up on life. You didn't keep going. You just stopped your character progression right there. You cut it short. Nah, that was part of the progression story, man. You got to keep going. You can't stop. You got to keep progressing through life, you know? Keep leveling up. You keep leveling up. You get a job. You get a promotion. You learn new stuff. Eventually, you might take over the company or start your own company. You get the house, picket fence, wife, husband, kids, dog, cat, goldfish, the whole shebang. Your life's happy. You die. You get to pass your splendors on to your future descendants. That's the ideal life. Just like the Sims video game, okay? And you only get one shot. So you gotta make sure you do it right. If you like the video, leave a like. If you disliked it, drop a dislike. If you're interested in signing up for any coaching or my newsletter, I email like almost every other day, book recommendations, habit tracker sheet that I created for you guys, all for free. If you're interested, just sign up for the newsletter. Coaching, sign up, got a bunch of it. It's for free. Why not help you kind of guide your life on a better track? If you're interested, all the links are in the description down below. As always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.